Hello, hello, hello. We are back, hello, with another conversation. It is Thursday, and it's our conversation time. I hope that you all have had a wonderful weekend. And we're going to get right into it. My name is Tiana Nichelle. Oh, I didn't even turn on Facebook. We gonna get into it. My name is Tiana Nichelle. I am an empowerment coach. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have a mobile app, Empower Society. Download it in your Google Play and Apple App Store. Empowerment messages. I have a nonprofit organization called Empower Society for individuals with Down syndrome and other disabilities. Get into it. Links are in my bio. So we're gonna talk about today, why do we call black people who connect with other races sellouts? But we don't have this conversation. We don't call them sellouts when we talk about 9 to 5. So we're gonna get into it. Um, if you would like to join the conversation and you want to go live, hit the button. Let me see. You gotta click the button in order for us to go. We can go live. It says we're having trouble loading. Okay, let me see. See if you can hit the request button again. Hit the request button again. Let's see. Did you hear that? Okay. Okay, you on the line. This is
Hey,
hold on. It's still connected to them doggone AirPods. Can you hear me?
yeah,
Please doggone. Hold on.
she make
Do
sure
I
it's
sound
turned
low?
all the way up a little bit. But
Okay, so let's. You said I
sound like
sound like a
sound like a
robot.
robot.
Can I turn these off?
That could just be your voice though. Yeah, I got
Ooh,
him.
you got
Got him. I'm starting early.
okay.
I'm
So
starting early.
let's get into it. Why is it? Cause okay, I'm gonna go back to the beginning. How I came up with this topic. So I was looking at this article on, was it NBC News, and it was
Mm-hmm.
about the owner of Mayel partnering with PNG Beauty. And so there was, in the article, the black girl was basically saying that she was a sellout, really. And all of the words that she was using to basically say she was a sellout. And so my thing was, why is it that we always see other black people as sellouts when they connect with bigger white organizations for, to build their brand? Because her goal was to go international. Like, she actually did a video today, and she was talking about how her goal was to have her products be known internationally. So that was the reason why she made the move that she
Mm-hmm.
made. And she was just, I guess, feeling like black people were looking at her as if she was giving up her company. But she's like, no, I'm not giving up my company. Me and my husband are still the CEO, but we make this move so that we can be an international brand. Um, but black women were still feeling like she sold out. So my thing is, why do we do that? Why do we, as black people, say when we connect with other uh, races or ethnicities, we're called sellouts for doing it, but we don't?
say that when we are working 9 to 5 for white people. Like, all of these corporations, and I'm going to just say there's a lot of black people that work for the government. There are a lot of black people that work for Amazon. These people ain't black. They white. So why don't we look at that as selling out, but we look at partnerships with our own businesses or connecting with other people as being a sellout? Like, give us some insight to what you feel about
that. I think one of the main reasons that people act like that is because they know in their hearts that they probably will never be able to get that far in that business.
Hold on.
A lot of all right. Sit down. Sit down. Sit.
If I ain't working out. It's not working out. Okay, there we go.
Say something else. Yeah.
Doggone. Oh, them earbuds. Okay, go. Hello.
All right, so I think that one of the reasons that a lot of black folks will say that another black person is a sellout for working with white companies is because they know in their hearts that they probably will never be. They don't feel like that person was ever going to get that big to be in that business anyway. So to case in point, a lot of businesses, white businesses, own the world. Like that's if you want to do something super successful in this world, there's a lot of white businesses that own that, which we do want to change, obviously, and we got Tyler Perry's and we got the Oprahs and, the Jay-Z's and a couple other people that are trying to build these businesses up to where we can work with other black folks. But at this time, there's a lot of, they had to go with the white folk. But a lot of black folks also feel like I think that they feel that, oh, well, you're not working with a black person, so you're a sellout. You're not doing this. But, if you want to be successful in business, you're going to have to work with everybody. And even if let's just say like one day, hopefully God in the future, there will be 1 million black businesses that are black-owned businesses that are huge empires, generational wealth having businesses. That is the goal. That is the key. Hopefully it'll be happening soon. But till then, you're still going to have to work with white folks if you want to get any type of billionaire success. I'm not saying all the time. I mean, there's certain things I'm sure you can probably do to make it on your own. But even Tyler Perry had to work with white folks in order to do some things that he wanted to do. He couldn't just work with black folks. And that just comes from a lot of people that are not knowledgeable about the situation. Also, there's a lot of haters out there, a lot of people that know that they're never going to be in the position that you're in. So they like to call you a sellout and call you names and things of that nature. But it is what it is. I mean, you have to continue staying on your right footing of what you're trying to do to be successful in this business. And me personally, I know that I'm going to work with anybody that can help me to achieve the goals that I want to achieve. And if I can find them, I'm in the film industry. So anybody that's in the film industry that I think that I need to work with in order to achieve the goals I want to achieve, then I work with them. Now, if there's some black folks that are in those positions that I can work with, then by all means, that's where I want to go. But I do know that if I'm going to work with one of the studios, Universal Studios or things of that nature, I'm going to probably have to work with white folks. Now, hopefully one day we'll have black folks running those situations. But until then, if I want to work with one of the Marvel movies, I'm probably going to have to work with white folks. And I'm not going to not work with a Marvel movie just because you think I'm going to be a sellout and I should go make my own superhero or whatever the case may be. No, I like Spider-Man just like everybody else. If somebody says, Chris, you want to come direct the next Spider-Man movie, I'm going to say yes. And there's going to be a whole bunch of white folks I'm going to be in a meeting with, in business with, so they can tell me what they would like me to do and blah, 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 blah. And that's what happens. But a lot of black folks are not educated to the situation of sometimes you have to do what you got to do. And, even like 50 will tell you, if you read the 48 Laws of Power and, these are some of the things you have to do. Sometimes you got to work with people that you don't want to work with in order to get to the point, yes, to do what you got to do. So that's mainly it, man. A lot of people are uneducated, which they need to be, but and plus a lot of people be haters because they know they'll probably never be in that position, and they be hating, man. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You're always gonna have people that hate on you, but that means you're probably doing something right. So stay on the course.
The other thing that I thought about is, when we have our own things going on, how our people discount what we're doing because we're not as big as the white people who they're like, you're being a sellout for connecting to. And think about the independent films that we've created, the different businesses that we've created. And I'm just going to speak from my own experience of my business. When I first started Bella Lux, that was in 2018. And no, there was not a lot of all like hair companies and beauty companies like there are now. Like the pandemic breed a lot of those types of companies. But there was not a whole lot of those different hair companies. There were quite a few, and most of them were white owned. And so I was like, I was really passionate about it. But let me tell you, I didn't get a lot of support when I first started. Even when I had, before that, when I had the event planning business, the support I got was minimal. All of the outside referrals came from different websites, and it wasn't even our people. It was white people. It was white people who were wanting for me to do bigger events, like fundraisers and stuff like that, but I didn't have the manpower to do it, so I wound up having to turn it down. But the events that I did with Black people, when I tell you that those experiences was horrible, because I didn't, number one, it was nickel and diamond, because back then I was new to being a business owner, and so I didn't have my prices in set, like they weren't set prices. And so I called myself trying to be reasonable. I was compromising. And when I look back on that, I really didn't make the money I should have been making. I was I was not even breaking even. Like, it was bad. It was bad. I was all event planner, and I was not breaking even. And that's when I had the event planning business back in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. I had a whole event planning business. I was running here, there, everywhere, planning events, doing stuff, like trying to make things look beautiful, trying to give our people the best. And I was not, I was getting the short end of the stick in my own business then, right? And so I felt like this I can't do this no more. Like, I was tired, I was burnt out. That's why I put that business aside. Like, I was like, let me stick a pin in this, because I didn't have the support of the people where I thought I would be catering to. But it's crazy because when I went, because at that time I was also working part-time at University of Phoenix, so I was in Schaumburg. And when I was going to those hotels out there, giving them my business cards, and I kid you not, the lady was like, oh, we could partner. And I was like, and then do what, though? In my mind, because I didn't know what that looked like, because I had never worked with white people in a business sense. Like, being in a corporate setting with them was one thing, but to actually partner my business with a Hilton or a Hyatt or whatever, those hotels that I was going to, I didn't know what to do with that. And then I'm looking like, okay, I don't know what to do next. And she was like, oh, we'll just help the brides, and we'll do this and we'll do that, because they did a gang of weddings. And so the fear set in, and I didn't
Right.
go forward with it. Really stupid. That was the lesson. That was the lesson. But it was. And I was like,
Damn
you know
shame.
what? I'm going to double back to that business. Not at this exact moment, but I thought that I was like, let me stick a pin in this.
Right.
Because I was so burnt out from working with our people. But then when I was telling other people my frustration that was of the same hue, they're like, well, why don't you cater to our people? I'm like, I'm telling you my frustration with our people. They not paying my prices, because by
Right.
that time I was like, okay, I gotta set my
No.
prices. And when I did do it, they was like, oh, well, I don't have enough for this. I don't have enough for that. I had one lady who was like,
Yes, I know that also.
I had one lady who was like,
yes, I understand.
can you just plan it and I bring my own decorations? And I was like, no, because you would not have dollar store decorations with my name on it. Like, I am not
Right.
dollar store. We decorating a whole venue with dollar store decorations. It is not my thing. Do my face say that?
No. Hey, so one of the issues that I be having with this, and that's like a great example, because that I've been through that exactly. You know, I still go through that sometimes. You know, working with my fellow Black people, I want to make sure that I'm helping them to put the best foot forward, and you know, I always want to work with my Black folks. I want us to get on and do what we got to do. And when we first start off, I was doing things for free. I was doing things for cheap, and you know, trying to build my brand and trying to learn how to be a better filmmaker and all those things. But at the same time, I started getting better opportunities, and with those better opportunities means that my price would increase. Once my price started increasing, I could not continue to just get those smaller things or doing things for free all the time, because now my time and my money is precious. So it came to a point that Black folks that are still trying to make it or whatever, I'm still a Black folks that's trying to make it, but a Black folks that's still trying to make it, they'll try to come to you and go, oh, can you do this for $400? Can you do it? But they want me to they want me to shoot a whole music video and then make nothing but 3D effects all around them and all that stuff like that for $400. And I'm just like, I can't do that, because that's going to be a waste of my time, my energy. And if you want that, you can always go to Fiverr and do those things. But then people start looking at you like you're a sellout if you want to be paid more for your services. Well, I do this for a living now. This is how I pay my bills. This is how my rent get paid. This is how my phone get paid. This is how I eat. This is how I use the Uber to go anywhere. This is how, if I want to go out and have a drink, I'm supposed to go out in a little bit here. How I'm going to spend money on eating and things of that nature.
But we don't question that in
exactly.
In a
so in order for
and that's the crazy part. Like, we'll work 9 to 5 with 1 hour breaks or 30-minute breaks. We don't ask them where the rest of the money goes. They give us a set salary, whether it's pennies, and a lot of times it do be pennies, because the company makes so much more. Let's just talk about Amazon. Amazon is $1 trillion business. Their workers are not getting $1 trillion. You got workers making what, 15, 16, 17 an hour, and they're putting in 40, 50 hours sometimes in overtime, 60 hours a week, maybe, trying to make ends meet.
Like,
why don't we look at that as selling out? Because you're literally becoming a slave to that 9 to 5 life, versus
because they feel because they're not going to have an issue with those people. They're not going to answer to that. They're not going to question that. When it comes to an average white man that is a music video director, I'm talking about a professional established music video director, not somebody that's just locally in your neighborhood. He's gonna be like, look, it's gonna cost you about $2,000, $3,000 for a good, just a basis for a good music video. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to black folks, they'll be looking at me like, well, man, I'll just give you $400 for 3 locations, 3 set changes, 3 this, doing all this. And it's like, no, you, I should be getting paid what the other people are getting paid. But they see us like I don't need that. I don't deserve. I don't, like it's almost like I don't deserve it. But I will not. That's when, right? You're trying to discount my worth and my talent and my time. And so a lot of people, they'll get mad at you and then say you're selling out and blah 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 because you're not keeping it real, keeping it hood to them. You're not helping the hood out, helping the black folks out, and that is just ignorance at its finest. Because most of those people, if they knew about business, then they'll know, excuse me, that you have to grow with your business. Nobody would ever question if there's a editor and he's edited. I remember the first, I edited a full-length feature film for somebody, and I remember that film, I got paid $400 for that film. My first time. That would never happen again, obviously. But at that time, I was kind of new to it, and I was like, yeah, man, I'll do this. But they knew that if they went to a white person, that white person's going to say, no, you have to pay me $400 an hour for that. You know what I'm saying? So they knew that they can get me at that low price. And that's the problem, is that we always have in our mentality that we should be low, or that we're not worth getting paid that much.
That was one of the things that I was doing. I felt like,
and that's the issue.
Oh, well, if my prices are reasonable, more people will come, or I'll be able to have more clients. That is not how that happened with the event planning.
No.
Now, when I had Bella Lux, I had set prices. It took some work in order to pull in customers. So I'll say by 2019 is when I got my first customers. But like, I had people commenting like, why are the models that you have, why are they so light? Why aren't they dark skinned? Why? I'm like, I'm not dark skinned.
Hey,
so,
I remember. Hey, look.
Whatever.
Hey, I remember this one time. I remember this one time that we shot this music video. I was shooting for my homeboy, and we put out there that day. We had put out there like we need some extra models. We were looking for black girls.
Is that
we
the
were like, hey
video
man,
that
we
had
got
the
black
white
girls.
in
Come
it?
on deck. You're gonna. Yes, we look. We said, come on deck. You're getting paid for your services. Blah blah blah. We couldn't get a black girl to save our life to spend their time, come get a little money for 3 hours of work to come do it. So what do? We got a bunch of white girls and Mexican girls to come and shake their ass for us. When we put that music video out, they all tried to slander and be like, oh, why you ain't got no black girls? These are all black women inboxing me. And then I had to, you know me. So I don't hold my tongue for nobody. So I let them have it and be like, do not come in my inbox with that goofy shit, because we asked you guys. We asked y'all to come. You did not want to help us in our time of need, which you would have got paid for. But now you have an issue because we have white women in it. Who do you think we're going to get? An alien? Well, aliens haven't shown themselves, so we have to go to the next best thing. This is what we had. And those white women had a great time. They got paid for their services, and it is what it is. If you want to make it in business, you have to be able to be open to doing things with your black folks. You have to be able and open to taking a chance. I told you one time that I had this guy who was, me and him, we had pretty much started acting together and all that stuff. And you know where I'm at in my business now, and I thought he did, but I guess he doesn't. He still thinks as me as some low little independent, just not really doing anything. This is fine. I don't care. But I asked him to join us in a film, which he was going to get paid for, flown out for, put in a hotel for. I didn't even get to those questions, get to those things to let him know that he was going to get paid really good. He was going to get flown out and all that stuff. But you know what this guy told me in the nicest way possible? He told me pretty much that I don't want to do any small little independent things. I want to do things that's going to work on, that's going to build me. And he's still doing a little playhouse theater right now somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't lowly. And I was just like, okay, all right. And so now you just missed out on a couple $1,000s in your pocket, a nice freaking free hotel for 4 days, you know what I'm saying, on the strip of Las Vegas, food, fun, all that, and you get to be in something that's probably going to be a big deal, because you just looked at me and thought I'm just some lowly little black independent director. I'm not what you think. So it is what it is. That's on him. But now I want him to keep that same energy. And see, that's what happens is that now when it's time and he sees that my stuff, because I'm getting more successful as the days go on. I just get more and more successful. So when that $1 million film comes in, please do not be in my inbox like, hey man, keep me in mind. No, I will not, because when I needed you and you still were going to get paid for your services more than the average person would pay you, more than the other black folks would pay you, you still said no. So just keep that same energy. And that's why a lot of black folks that are in business and are at a higher caliber and moving up in the world, they don't worry about if it's black, white, or whatever. They just worry about where I'm going to be. It's going to be most effective in my business.
Because when I think back on the conversations that I've had surrounding Oprah Winfrey, this was some time ago, probably 10, 12 years ago. And black women at the time were like, oh, Oprah's a sellout. She got an all-white audience. You know, she doesn't do anything for black people here. And I was thinking to myself, like, when Oprah was up and coming, I don't remember, and I was little then, of course. Like, Oprah was out in the 80s or whatever, so I didn't come along to 84. I didn't know who Oprah was, so probably like 89, 90. I was like 5 years old. But like, I never heard about black people like rallying around her for her to be able to be this $1 billion woman that she is, or however much she's worth. I don't even know how much she's worth right now. But
no, a lot of black folks in those days thought that Oprah was a hot mess. They wanted to get her off the TV. But Oprah built an empire, and now revere her. Why? Because she's a billionaire. And that's the thing, is that people can talk all they want about.
She had to link up with white people in order to do it. So she had to go outside of her race in order to do it. But it's like, why don't we feel like, so we have all of these black business networks and all of these different things. And I actually went to a CEO event, which I thought was really awesome. I kid you not. I think the picture is on my Facebook, not on my Instagram, but I did post it in my stories. But anyway, I was invited to a CEO gala, and I went, and it was a room full of black people, which I wish you could have come. Like, it was amazing to me to see people our age, and some were a little bit older, but it was a lot of us where we're still like considered millennials. They have the millennial term wrong, but we're really considered the millennials, the 30-somethings.
Yeah.
But like, being in a room full of people who were ambitious, who have businesses, who have successful businesses, everybody was at a different level, but it was just like everybody was there to network, and it was a different vibe that I had never felt before. And so even talking to one of the guys that's a part of the organization that put it on, and he was saying the vision that he had for the organization, but he was saying how difficult our people are, in a sense, to connect with. And I'm like, why are we difficult with our own people, but we smile in the face of other races, but we give our own people the most hell? Even when I did the school supply drive, I'm giving away free school supplies, okay? Let me tell you, I went all over, all over the South suburbs, giving out flyers to say, hey, you know, if your kid is in need of school supplies, my organization is giving out school supplies. Just text this number or email us, you know, so that we can pull up and give you free school supplies. Where was they at? When I
no black folk,
connected with the organization, a white organization, SSSRA, South Suburban Special Recreation Association. The lady actually handed me that opportunity to say, hey, we're having Kindness Day. We can set you up a booth. We love the fact that you're giving away school supplies, white people. And I had Black people say to me when I was passing out the flyers, isn't this a white organization? And I was like, yes. And it was like, well, why are you doing that with them in Tinley Park? They don't have a need. This is just where I'm going to be. I'm passing out flyers in our neighborhoods, the predominantly Black neighborhoods out here. All you got to do is drive your butt to Tinley Park to pick it up. I was like, I don't see. She literally gave me a booth when I wasn't even asking her for anything. I just notified her, hey, do you know some parents that might need school supplies? And she was like, oh, we're doing this. We're going to give you a booth. They did all that. And so even the Black parents that were there were like, we really don't need anything. But let me tell you, the white parents rolled up and started pulling them school. What do you have? How many of each can I get? And I was like, but here's the other part that I realized. If I was in the city, then people would be wrapped around the corner. So I felt like our people who are in these suburban areas, and it's like Markham is predominantly Black. Country Club Hills is predominantly Black. Harvey, all Black. Robin, all Black. And these are low-income neighborhoods. Chicago Heights. I was in Chicago Heights. All Black, low-income neighborhood. Those people did not roll up. I literally had to roll up to the schools, and the schools was like, our parents couldn't even afford school supplies this year. We need everything that you have.
So like literally there's something that is holding us back from working with each other, because I feel like, for one, we're all on this, it's me, it's what about my business, what about my life. That's something that we got to get out of. I love my Black folks. I want to work with my Black folks. I want to build us up. I want us all to have generational wealth. I'm going to put them to work. I'm going to do all those things. But at the same time, I will not be patronized by Black folks just because I'm trying to better myself in my situation, in my life, in my career, in my success. Now, the Black folks that I work with these days, they are committed to being better than themselves. They're committed to building generational wealth. They know how to work. They know how to work with Black folks. They want me to succeed as much as they succeed. They're not just trying to use me for their own gain. And there's still Black folks out there that do that, but it's only because they don't have the education or the know-how, or maybe they're not in the position and they think they can just get something free, which is fine. But you have to understand that there is ladders, steps to this. What's the word they say? There's levels to this, and yesterday's price is not today's price. All that is so you have to be able to understand that if you're going to work with people in business, that you're trying to get something at the next level, and you want to work with Black folks, there's Black folks in this business that are growing, and they're going to want what they are owed. They are going to want what they're owed for their time and their patience. I got to get out of here. I got to leave. But yeah, man, I just wanted to say that, man. I love my Black people. Y'all know that. I want to work with us. I want us to grow and have generational wealth. But we all have to come together and pay what is owed, or save up till you got it, or do what you got to do. But you got to understand, we all have to do this together. And if we're not doing it together, then look, I'm going to keep on being a success. I have to take care of me and mine, and be a success and do all those things. And I will always give back and build foundations and things of that nature. But I will not just have my time devalued just because you think that I'm on your level, or you think that I'm not good enough, or I'm just an independent, or whatever the case may be. That's just how it is. I gotta go.
Thank you for joining.
But thank you so much, man, for having me. No, it's no problem, man.
Okay.
And I'll be back. Holler at me anytime. You dig?
Bye.
All right, man.
That was a really really good. He made some really good points. The other thing that I want to say is, um, the Jewish people make it their business to do things within their community. And that's one of the reasons why they have been more successful. And I know people will debate me on this all day. But when I look at the fact that they had to overcome challenges, and it ain't as many challenges as we have had, but they've gone through a lot of different things if you look at the history. But the key point is that they built their own economy as a culture. And that's something that Black people, we really need to be doing, because the money that we spend out, we spent billions of dollars. And this is the statistics that we have spent billions of dollars every year. So it's not that the money isn't there. We're spending it on designer things, on things that do not give us a return. And we're not even supporting our own people with the money that is going out, because if we were, then that money would be coming right back in, and it would be a cycle. So then we would be building up, our people. But I feel like we make it hard because we even question other business owners. Like we have that really bad, and we're like, oh, support Black, buy Black, and be the main ones 21 questioning our people about their business. And okay, so how did you do this? You're not gonna ask a white person. And I have had that happen where people are like, well, how did you create this post? Well, how did you come up with these products? Well, how did you what? I don't see you going into the Chinese store asking them how they created anything. They ain't create not a doggone thing. You know what they did? They found a vendor from overseas, probably their cousin, and they shipped them the product. But you didn't sit there and 21 question when you walked in the beauty supply store, pulling stuff up off the shelves, putting it in your basket, and going to the cart with it. And a lot of them people can't even answer questions about the products that they have. At least your Black people can answer questions to the products that they have in their stores or on their online. So that's one of the things that I want us to stop using the word sellout every time a Black person decides to partner with an organization outside of our culture, unless we're going to build organizations that actually help to create wealth for other business owners to be able to thrive and to grow. But the problem is we don't have other businesses that are connecting on that level. We're not even doing it within our own families. You would know Pookie and them got a whole business and you ain't bought not a one product. Or, your cousin that started their business that you did not even purchase one thing. Or the podcast that you didn't even listen to, and it was free. Whatever it is that we are even doing within our own families, it really starts there. Supporting what your family member is doing, it kind of starts at home. But I feel like when you don't do that, if you can't even honor the businesses that are happening or thriving in your own family, you're not going to necessarily honor that outside with the same the people that are of the same hue as you. A lot of the times we even will go and trust white people, and this is a conversation I was even having with my mom, how we would trust what white people say over our own Black people, but yet we holler and scream about what Black people don't do for other Black people. But if a white person comes up to you and say, hey, I'm selling Girl Scout cookies, would you like to buy? And then a Black girl comes and says it at the same time, 9 times out of 10, black people will buy from that white person and leave that black girl out there. And that's the thing that I'm saying. Like, the point that I'm making is we have to learn how to support our own. But then when our own decide to say, hey, I need outside resources or financial resources to make this work, and they connect with other businesses, they should not be called sellouts for doing it, because that's where the money is. And in order for money make the world go around, let's just be clear. And in order to be a global business, in order to be nationwide, in order to be up there with on the Forbes 500, or to even make the list of, billionaires, you have to connect with those people in order to do that, because unfortunately it's not a lot of us in those positions. And so, going back to how this topic came up, for those of you who are joining us, joining in later, I was talking about how Monique Rodriguez, the owner, CEO of Mael, is Mael Organics, well, beauty products, hair products. She partnered with P&G Beauty. And so black women were saying that she was a sellout for doing it. And I didn't quite feel that way. I wanted to talk about why we thought it was okay to say that she was a sellout, because she was partnering with a global brand in order for her brand to get bigger than what it is. Now, I do understand that we're looking, a lot of black women are looking at the fact that people like Shea Moisture, who initially was black owned, sold their company, and now it's white owned. And so the person even used this in the context of the article that I was reading. And so she was saying how many, other beauty brands are doing the same thing. And she just feels like, she's selling out. And so I'm like, white businesses do it all the time. They, say, hey, I have $1 million business. I want to sell it so that I can do something else. And here you go. It's not necessarily, and I think this is the other thing, we have to take away personal from business. Because a lot of times we take things personally as if it's being done to us personally, and it's a whole business decision. Maybe, the person's direction has changed, but Monique made a statement earlier when she was saying that her and her husband were staying as CEO and COO of the company. They just wanted their brand to be global, so that's the reason why they partner with P&G. And so I am glad that she did make that statement, because I'm like, they kind of may help a lot of people who were saying that she was selling out. But at the same time, I'm like, why are we so quick to call one another sellouts for connecting with white people, when we sit here and we work 9 to 5s, work till our fingers are black and blue, but we don't see a problem with that, and they don't pay us what we're worth? It's almost like a slavery mentality. They won't pay us what we're worth. We work to our head hurts, to bodies hurting, falling apart. Even when I think back, and I feel like we need to look at this. During the pandemic, places like Walmart were not allowing people who felt sick to take off, and some of them people died. Did we forget that? We was just in a whole lockdown situation, and people died literally because they weren't able to get the medical care because they couldn't get the time off, and they literally worked for a white corporation. I don't understand what the disconnect is with our people when it comes to that, but we really need to stop it, because if you are not yourself building a company, number one, you don't know what it takes. So first off, you should be keeping your mouth off of other business owners if you yourself has never been a business owner. If you have not put the work in that it takes to be a business owner, which is not easy by any means. Trust and believe me, it's not easy to execute, because if it was, everybody would have executed it, and they haven't. It's not easy to sustain once executed, because there's so many things that you have to do in the background, from marketing to your finances to you have to be organized. Even when you are advertising a product, understanding who you're marketing to, you have to have consistency among your brand. It's just a lot of different pieces. Your accounting parts. What else? Even when you're delivering your services, you have to have good customer service skills. Even in answering questions, because you will get people who will find something wrong. And people really don't talk about this. How people will say, "Hey, this happened," or "I didn't receive my product." And do you know that the product was delivered? Because you see it. You know, you got the tracking on your back end of your store, and you will literally see this, and they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't receive it." And now you got to deal with that issue, when it really shouldn't be an issue, because you know that person received the product, but yet they just want to come up. They don't want to actually pay for it. They'll say, "Oh, it never got delivered, so can I get my money back?" And you like, "No, it was delivered. Here go the tracking right here. It says it was delivered to your mailbox on this day, this time, whatever." But people don't understand all of the work that goes into it. And then for your own people to not support you, or to try to defraud you by coming up with these package issues or shipping issues, or just all of these different things, it's like you wind up doing your people a disservice, because then it makes them not want to do business with our own people, if we're being honest. Even the gentleman that was on here earlier, and he was talking about the different issues among Black people, and even connecting with them. Even if you say, "Hey," because I did this last year. I was saying, "Okay, let me hire some people." And I reached out to certain people who I knew needed some jobs. And I was like, "Okay, I have positions open. I have different positions. This is what I can pay you." And, it was like, "Oh, I'll think about it. I don't know." And them people still not working. Like, they still not working, but yet I was like, "Let me offer you, here's a job." And so with that, I was just like, "Okay, well, whatever." But like what he was saying, he was basically saying the same thing. He offered a guy a job, working with him on set on a project. And the guy was basically like, "Oh, it was kind of like low budget," or whatever the case may be. So he didn't want to do it. But now has bigger projects. He don't want to be, involved with this dude, in the future, because he's looking like, "Well, when I was trying to give you a job, you ain't want the job." And so it's just little things like that. But yet I'm like, why are we doing that? Like, as a people, why do we do that? But if a white person was saying, "I got a job," now you gonna run and breaking your neck, standing around the corner when these job fairs are happening, knowing good and well you're not gonna get a call back. But your own people be hiring, and you won't even apply. It's like really crazy to me. Guys, we gotta do better. And we gotta stop using that word "sell out." Because if we not gonna support one another, then where we think the money gonna come from for people to be able to support themselves, if they trying to build businesses and they have their dreams and ambitions that they're trying to live out. Like, I encourage everybody to live out your dreams, your ambitions, whatever your goals are. Go ahead and live those things out. But we have to keep our mouth off of people who are really out here grinding, putting in the work. And if you're not one of the people that's putting in the work, you don't know what it takes to get to that level. And so I feel like we just really need to be better about how we do one another as a culture. Stop looking at other Black people like they should give you something. I even remember, I could use this as another example. A friend of mine had an event some years back, and I gave out products for free. I literally gave out products for free. And that was a lot of money. When I tell you, that stuff that I gave out was not cheap, but I showed up, didn't charge a thing. And when I tell you the amount of money that was probably spent on those products in each bag, if I have to estimate, was probably about $80, $70, $80 a pop, and I gave out about 20 bags. You do the math. I don't have a calculator in front of me, but you do the math. And then from that, it didn't reap a harvest to where I got sales from that event. Low key, high key, like it didn't. It was a waste of my money, honestly, because it did not do that. And then the friend at the time was basically, she actually said something that kind of got under my skin, because she was basically like, I wasn't supportive enough or something of whatever she had going on, but yet I literally gave free products, $80 worth of free products, and I'm a small business, literally just up and coming, and I had already spent a good $10,000 in my business by then. And this is $10,000 of my hard-earned money. Nobody gave me nothing. So that was a lot. But looking back on that, I know she didn't understand because she didn't have a business. So she didn't understand how hard that was. And then not to even get customers from that event was really hard. And so I say all that to say, when you are one, you have to you have to be careful who you connect with, because when you connect with people who don't have this, who don't share the same vision as you, you wind up discounting your own vision, and you wind up nickel and diming yourself because they don't see your value. And then there's always going to be an issue because they don't value you in the first place. And that was one of the things that I winded up having to deal with. And I kind of dealt with that consistently, because I didn't get a lot of support from best, like, family and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of business owners will say, Black business owners especially, will say that. And I realized that it doesn't really matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. Keep doing you. Keep building. Keep going with your business. Keep whatever your dream, your vision is. Those people will try to come around in the end. But when you first start off, them people is not gonna be there. They're not gonna believe in you, and it's A-okay. I have dealt with it with several businesses. Visionary Creations, that was my event planning. Bella Lux, that is now House of Nishay, and Empower Society. Even Manifest Boss Brands, which is something that I really haven't talked about and shared about. I probably talked about it in one live, but I haven't really talked about it in depth. but that one was helping to create other businesses and giving them the support and everything that they need to get started. So I was doing the groundwork, laying the foundation for people. It was basically giving them a business in a box situation. That is Manifest Boss Brands. It's still there. And I've worked with a couple people recently, but when that first started, people that was close to me knew the capability. They knew what I did. They know what I do, and they was just not on board. So it's okay. Like, I've learned that it's okay, and I don't get bent out of shape about the people that don't support anymore, because I'm just like, they just not. Because Empower Society, you know, I've had a lot of outside support. The way that I got those supplies, it was majority outside support. There was some family, that did, a couple people, I'll just say a couple, but for the majority, it was outside. And that's okay. But we have to stop using the word sellout, because if we're not going to sit and support our own people, with the businesses, the visions that they have, the whatever it is that they doing, if they selling, Jello pudding, or a pound cake, and we ain't buying it because we looking like, well, what's the ingredients? Well, how you cook it? Well, who else bought it? Doing all that extra stuff, like, it's not necessary. It ain't necessary. just don't worry about it if you got to do all that. But we tend to do that with our own people, and it's really bogus. And we'll trust other cultures over our own people, and it's just really bogus. But then we looking at politicians and stuff and say, well, why they ain't help us as a people? Ain't nobody finna help us as a people if our people not helping one another, and they know this. Other cultures know that we don't have unity within our own culture, is the reason why they treat us the way that they treat us. So they're not apt to do anything, because we can't even come together for nothing. We only come together when it's somebody that got shot. We only come together, and that was the biggest times where Buy Black was happening, was when it was the uh, George Floyd situation, or Breonna Taylor situation, and all of a sudden everybody come together. We going black, we buying black. Ain't nobody even talking about that right now. Is anybody doing it right now? Is anybody making it a thing? I don't even see nobody wearing the Buy Black shirts that they was wearing all during George Floyd. Support Black people. We got to stand together. Juneteenth and all this other extra added nonsense that we was doing just for that time. And then we forget about all of that, and we back to looking at Black people, looking at each other like, I don't know. You seen her, I don't know where she get her products from. Even I was watching a docuseries on Black wealth, and we have created a lot of Black wealth within the last few years. And when I post this on my YouTube channel, I'm actually going to share the link to that video so you all can see it. But it was talking about how Black wealth has increased among millennials. And there were real estate agents and just different people. And the guy, he has We Buy Black or something like that, the app that lists all of the different Black organizations. And the girl asks, so where do you get your products from that are listed on here? Is this product a Black a product that was made by a Black person? We're not asking white people or Asian people, was these products made by y'all? Why do we do this? Why? That's what I was thinking when I watched it. I'm like, why? Why do we have to do all that? Either you like it. It was a toothbrush. It was the first toothbrush that actually has the black person posted on the back of it, showing them how to use the toothbrush. And it actually has, our brown face here on the back of it. And that's when the person, the interviewer, was saying that. And I was just like, why is that even a question? Like, we have to stop doing this. Either you're gonna support or you're not gonna support. Stop the 21 question, because you don't want nobody 21 question the back end of your business and how you do business. That's not important. Either you like the product or you don't like the product. Either you want it or you don't want it. But we have to stop saying, when we get tired of those types of questions, and then we're like, okay, you know what? I want to scale up. You don't say nothing to the person when they decide to take out a loan with Bank of America, who is white owned, and they go into debt with that white owned bank in order to fund their business, but then let them partner with a brand that's bigger. Now all of a sudden, here come the questions. We got to stop doing that. Either we gonna support or we just not gonna support. But in my personal opinion, we really need to support one another in our endeavors, whatever it is. If you write a book, let me know what the book is. Now, I done bought books from other Black authors that I really didn't know, but I was just like, this look like a good book, girlfriend, let me get a copy. And I didn't even know that person. A guy was selling a book on the street. He literally walked in the laundromat selling his book. And I don't know him from a can of paint, but his book was $20. And I was like, I looked at it, listened to his pitch, and I was like, okay, let me just get a copy. You ain't got to keep pitching me no more. Come on. But I'm that way. I know everybody ain't built that way, but I'm that way. Well, if you got something that you want to do, I'm going to always be like, go do it. Let me know when it's coming out so I can buy one. Let me get one. I'm just built that way. I know everybody ain't built that way. But I just feel like you will also reap that. Whatever you sow, you will reap. So when you decide to do your own endeavors, if you never sowed a seed to help someone else with their business, you can't expect, for somebody else to sow into your business or your life, for that matter. This is why a lot of people struggle, is because they don't understand the concept of sowing and reaping. And whatever you shall sow, you will reap. So you have to be careful what you do and what you say to other people. And it's the other part, when you are going through your own seasons of, okay, maybe things are not working out, how you handle those seasons, how you handle other people in those seasons is a big deal. Because in those times is when you will sow a seed that you did not intentionally mean to sow. And then once it's harvest time, now you're looking around like, why is this happening to me? So you really have to be careful in, when you're going through even your tough seasons, how you talk to people, deal with people, operate even in your business, in your life too, because you will reap it. Like, that's just that's just how that goes. But this conversation, I feel like, was very necessary, because Black people, we are so quick to call other Black people sellouts, but we will go to that 9 to 5 that is draining the hell out of us, and not even think nothing about it. And nobody's a sellout for doing that. That's a problem. That's really a problem. That's a conditioning, slave mentality conditioning that really needs to be done away with. But in order for us to get on the same page. We really need to support one another, whether it's a free, somebody's giving away something for free, you know, whatever it is, support somebody and keep it consistent on the support. Don't just do it one time and be like, yeah, I supported a Black business 5 years ago. Like, no, be a little bit more consistent so that we can keep our dollars in our communities because it's necessary. We need Black businesses, we need Black schools, we need Black educators. This is the reason why I feel like our culture is dwindling in our mentality and in our the way that we just do life, because we need more Black representation in every aspect of our lives, and not just the music. That's the other part. The music industry, us being a part of the music industry, is the biggest selling out that we could have ever done, because they don't do anything for us. The contracts be horrible. The image is whatever they give us, and then we're following these people who have these images that have been created by white people, but yeah, we don't consider that selling out. It's really weird to me. But yeah, music really influences us a lot. It is actually one of the biggest influencers in our culture, because we look at what they're wearing, and a lot of times, you know, our people will go out and buy whatever the person is wearing, the chains, the purses, the shoes, the outfits, you know, all of these different things. And it's it's crazy because it's not even created by us. None of that stuff is created by us, but yet we are running around to get it. Nike is not Black people. It's actually Asian people in the sweat factory creating these shoes. Let's be real. I just want us to do better. Let's do better. Let's let's just do better. Be better. Watch how we handle people. Watch how we talk to people. Just be more supportive of what other people have going on. And if they decide to make business moves, we need to learn how to congratulate them wherever they are, because we gonna need that round of applause to come back to us in some way, shape, form, or fashion when we decide to go do something big in our lives. So that's it. That's the end of the conversation. I am going to post on Facebook for people on Facebook, because I'm actually on Facebook here and Instagram here. For the people that's on Facebook land, I'm actually going to post the one from Instagram so that you can see the actual guy that was talking, because I know that some of you all came in and he was talking and you like listening to this audio. So I'm going to just post the one from Instagram onto Facebook so that you all can see it. But let me know, you know, in the comments how y'all feel about this topic, because I kind of want to dive into some Black issues. I've talked about relationships and things like that. I want you all to look at the previous conversations, guys. I've been doing this for 2 years. It'll be 2 years in March. And I feel like this is amazing because I never was one who liked being in the forefront. I've always been a quiet person where I stayed in the background. And so 2 years ago, I decided to step out and do this. And it's just been amazing every step of the way, in the conversations, in the support, in the even helping other people. And I've had that's what's really crazy. Like, I've had people to say, hey, you helped me out of this situation. Thank you for this conversation. I've had people that have called me through social media, through Facebook, through Instagram and ask, to speak with me about whatever's going on in their life. So I see that the conversations really have helped. That's why I keep doing them, because it is for somebody. These conversations are for somebody. It's not just for me to get on here and just talk just for the sake of talking, but I feel like if I can just change the life of one person, I am doing something. And so I'm okay with that. But I thank you all for those who have supported me through this process, through this journey, that have came on here, that have spoke in the comments. Thank you. Even those that have supported Empower Society with donations and school supplies. I am very, very appreciative for that. Um, those who have just supported me along my journey, the ups, the downs, the twists, the turns. Thank you. Uh, I also have written a couple books, and for those who have actually purchased the books in the past, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm very appreciative. I actually have one of the books that is now a free ebook. And so that one is, the link is in my bio. And it is about transforming your minds and your thoughts. And it is about the thoughts that you have that kind of hold you back. And it's about getting your power back, getting free of that type of mindset, that so you can live your best life. I also have affirmations, powerful affirmations to transform your life. There's also a journal that accompanies it. And it's all, the link is there. Download the app that I have, Empower Society app, in your Google Play and Apple App Store. You get daily inspirational messages. It's really good. There's a directory of services and businesses that cater to individuals with disabilities. So if you know someone who is in need, share, share, share. What else? I actually have an event coming up. So let me address this before I get off. Um, there was an event that I was supposed to be doing, an empowerment event for Empower Society that was supposed to have taken place in November, but my mom and I was in a car accident. The event was canceled, and we rescheduled it to March 19th. So that event is March 19th. It's a luncheon. There will be speakers there talking about different resources and services and different businesses that they have that actually cater to individuals with disabilities. Right now, I am trying to get a doctor and some other people who work with insurance and trusts and things like that to come in and speak to us. Right now, I have a few organizations, but it's a luncheon. The tickets are $45. It will be in Homewood. The link is in my bio, and that's March 19th. So make sure that you get your tickets. And if you have a child or care for someone who has Down syndrome or another ability, their ticket price is actually discounted. So that is up there too. And I'm going to keep the tickets at the early bird sale to the middle of February. So I actually have to go back in and change that. But I hope to see you all there. It will be some really good information, some good food. We're going to have some dancing, some treats, some giveaways. It's going to be an awesome time. So that is March 19th. It starts at noon and goes to 6 p.m. So go ahead and make sure that you get your tickets. And with that, I will talk to you later. Make sure, also, I have a podcast Empowered Society podcast on your Spotify. So check out the episodes, really good. And also, if you have any topics that you would like to talk about, feel free to send me a message and we'll get into it, honey. I will see you all later. You have a wonderful night. Bye.